Is Ruben Amorim causing his own problem, United fans? Talk to me, get into the live chat this morning. We're talking about what Ruben has done over the last few games concerning you. Is he causing his own issues? Ruben told what he needs to do to get what he wants in the summer. I was also told something last night, which probably going off what was said yesterday won't please many United fans. Going to talk about that. Man United back in for Jean-Claire Todibo this summer. Another goalkeeper on the list. Is it obvious from what I said at the top there and Ruben Amorim's and what he needs to do? Is it already written in stone what is going to happen in the summer from that also by clearly dropping certain players? And is there someone in Manchester United's squad that is now obvious, no matter the concerns about injuries, has to play in every available opportunity this season from now until the end of it? Everything that you need to be fully up to date with this morning on FUTV. Welcome along to the show, everybody. Slightly earlier than normal. Again, obviously things to do in the day, but we're going to get through all of the news no matter what. Anyway, to get you kick-started and ready to go for your, well, hopefully it's a good day. And we've only got, one more day before the football weekend is back again. Marcus Rashford hitting the mark again yesterday. Is he helping Ruben Amorim right now, or is he showing him up a little bit? I have to ask the question, and we're going to bring it in as well from last night's games and where Manchester United are at with, obviously, our loanee players, because I think we've got more of an interest in players that are not playing at United right now than we do have actually playing at Manchester United right now. Let's get into it and let's start with the obvious right now. So, Manchester United summer is all dependent on what happens this season. I've been told last night that Champions League is what is probably going to get Victor Osimhen. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at Liam Delap. And I was told last night that Liam Delap is a real target. Talks have taken place and United are 100% in for Liam Delap. You're going to have to just deal with it. That's settle down and just accept that Manchester United are where we are. I think there may be even more coming in if we do make the Champions League, but it's all if, buts and maybes in whether Manchester United can win the not win the Champions League, let's not get ahead of ourselves, win the Europa League and get into the Champions League. That's what I think Manchester United fans all realise and all need. We all need to know, but we all do realistically. Even if we are trying to be the most optimistic, like I am, we do understand that Champions League football is going to open up the transfer avenues for us. In terms of what we do now Ruben Amorim recently has made his own issues. I think he's made his own problems, and I think he's overcomplicating things. I really do believe that. I think it's now or never for Ruben in terms of what he needs in the summer, because I feel like right now he's accepting it and he sounds like a defeatist. He sounds very negative and down every time he talks. Like, obviously before the start of the international break, Ruben Amorim was upbeat. We all were a little bit more upbeat. We had a great international break. Everyone's come back fit. We've got players coming back. We're all fit, raring to go. But in that game against Nottingham Forest, he was obviously making clear sacrifices for other players' frailties, like Manuel Ugarte being hooked because Garnacho and Xerxes can't do their job up front. Why did you play Bruno Fernandes in the 10 when he's been playing so well next to Manuel Ugarte or Casemiro? Casemiro and Manuel Ugarte don't play well together. They don't really offer as much as what a Bruno does. The creativeness and the way that Manchester United want to play, it doesn't work. It all comes down to Manchester United not having the right players up front again, obviously, but still, whichever way you look at it, United right now are really stuck with our forward line, and there are just clear things that need to happen right now, which is why I want to talk about Mason Mount straight off the top and on today's show, because I know everyone's concerned about his injuries. He's probably going to break down. Ruben Amorim will probably come out himself and say, look, we've got to look after these players. We've got to make sure that they're ready. He's been training for 3 weeks. He came on off the bench. This is a Premier League footballer on $250,000 a week. If he is on the pitch and cannot play a full 90 minutes, you play him for 60 minutes, because Manchester United have conceded the first goal 23 times this season. There's only Leicester that have a worse record than United for conceding the first goal. Get your best players on the pitch, and what you want to do early in the game, and then substitute them off. Try and get ahead in the game, because when United take the lead in games, it almost nearly every single time works out better for United. We're taking points from them games. We know that if United go behind, we're struggling. We can't get back in games. We haven't got the right mental strength, the right steely character to get back into games. We know that's our weak point right now. So play your advantages. There are certain players in this squad right now which change everything and are obviously better than certain players that are playing. And honestly, why would you swap Lenny Yoro and Mazraoui round in right and left centre-backs? We said that yesterday, and that was another problem. But there are clear players now that he's got available, and this is solely looking like, forget about what's gone past. It's what Ruben Amorim can do right now, because he needs Champions League football to get the war chest that he needs. Because I feel that if Ruben doesn't get the right investment in the summer, he will be backed in a lot of ways. I was told that as well last night. He is 100% going back and he isn't getting sacked. But fast forward another 12 months, and this scenario happening again next season might not be the same story. And this, I think, he has accepted is where he's struggling. He cannot get this team playing the way he wants them to play. He's inexperienced at this highest level, and he's having to learn on the job and learn fast. But I think he's tripping himself up. The Casemiro all of a sudden playing in games for Manchester United, like I don't think Casemiro was bad, but he's very, very limited. You need to be building a team around the players that you want to be playing, surely. And Manuel Ugarte to be sacrificed at half-time because of the issues that we've got up front, just so you can bring in another forward, I honestly don't get it. I don't. This should have been the team from the start. You've lost a substitute straight away, but surely Manuel Ugarte is the player that you should be having in your starting lineup. He's the player that should be there, should he not? I mean, you've got to be putting Manuel Ugarte ahead of Casemiro at this stage of the season when it's crunch time. It's a worrying sign that I think for all Manchester United fans, that even with Manuel Ugarte, is he got concerns over Ugarte? Is he thinking that Manuel Ugarte isn't the player that he once was? And this is why he moved him on from Sporting probably back in the day. Look, I think Ugarte is fine. Personally, I do. But the fact that Ruben has now started to chop and change. Now, Ugarte had plenty of rest time. Plenty of rest time up to that game. There was no excuse for him not to be playing or being hacked off at half-time, hauled off at half-time. It should have been Casemiro, really. You need to be building a team that you want to put out on the pitch next season, surely. And Manuel Ugarte is part of that team, is he not? You would have thought anyway, because Casemiro is looking to be outed in the summer. So too is Eriksen, and obviously a few other players that we know. But I feel like the problem we've got right now is that we need to have our better team on the pitch that work in this system. Straight away, you're looking at Mason Mount, you're looking at Altay Bayindir right now that need to come into Manchester United's side. Do Manchester United have a better chance with Mount playing in that front three and Bayindir playing in goal ahead of Andre Onana? Does Ruben actually know what people are saying? Do you think he knows that Andre Onana is not the right goalkeeper? We have to be looking at a new goalkeeper in the summer, but we've still got 2 months left of the season. We need to be making this change now. We need to be looking at Altay Bayindir playing every single game for Manchester United. He has been absolutely cutthroat with every other player in this squad. And I do not understand, or I can get my head around what he sees in Andre Onana in goal for Manchester United. I was talking to a few people the other day, and they were making a defence for Andre Onana. And I'm looking at them just like, How can you even think that? And the people looking at stats. And you know what? This modern day football, with people looking at stats, you only have to look at the players' reactions. You only have to look at the moments that he has cost us this season. And just to take it back across to Mason Mount, that lack of creativity and decisiveness in that final third, and without Mason Mount there, clearly shows what Ruben Amorim has to do now going forward, does he not? And when you look at Mason Mount, he's won what? The Champions League, the Club World Cup, and everything else he did playing in this system. Ruben Amorim has talked about Mason Mount being the great player. He loves Mason Mount. He's shown his love for Mason Mount many times, and he's come out and said it several times, in fact. But I just feel like right now, I think looking towards the future, and although we know he's safe right now and he is going to get the backing, and like what I was told last night, he's going nowhere and there is going to be full support there. The word is around Manchester United, behind the scenes right now, that everything is 20 times better with Ruben Amorim. He's loved by everybody at the football club. The players are finding it a lot easier with Ruben Amorim. There is a clear understanding, but then that all comes down to, right, okay, if you have got the players all on board, if everybody is happy, why are the results not getting better? It all comes down to, at the end of the day, to quality. Has that player got what it takes? Have you got other players you can bring in? The answer to that is, first of all, no, he hasn't, because we are where we are in the league because of these players. And clearly, we do have other players to come in. Not many players have, let's just say, shined at Manchester United this season. Who has? Well, Ahmad in his period, a few of the new signings, and Bruno Fernandes. Nobody else has shined. This, I think, is the chance now with Mason Mount coming back. And I'll come to the live chat on this one straight away because I do believe that Mason Mount can make a difference this season. I think he is that important to Ruben Amorim. Would you just start playing Mason Mount for the first 60 minutes of games and then bring him off? Look, I know it doesn't sound right, like you only be able to get an hour out of certain play. But if there is any concerns at all with Mason Mount's fitness, if there's any concerns where we can last out games, then surely you just start him from games. Don't throw him in at the end of games when he's trying to do more because United are chasing games. I say this all of the time. It's better to start a player so we can get into the tempo of the game, feel for the game, and then start to adapt to it. And it's a lot easier if you're starting on the same page as everybody else. When you're thrown in to that pressure cooker situation where United are chasing games, like I said, 23 times this season, Man United in the Premier League have conceded the first goal. It's an absolute joke how Manchester United are not ready. Look, forget about what you can do off the bench. Let's do it from the start and not have these problems going forward. There are clear and obvious issues within the team as it is now. And everybody, like we said over the last few days, is now starting to come back. And there are players that are a lot fitter. There are players that are now moving forward, I think, need to be staple, need to be in this side. Make the decision. Do you know what? There could be a point going back towards the end of this season where you've got Mainu, Mount and one striker up front. That could be the case. You could have Agate and Bruno in midfield and then a different setup up front altogether. There is no point now in even thinking about what might have worked before. They've got to change everything that's happening now, because if we don't get Champions League football, then we are all going to be here talking about Liam Delap coming through the door, a couple of teenage players, and a few more players that are better. And don't get me wrong, exactly what Manchester United are going to need for the future. But the question about the here and now is going to be on the top of everybody's lips going forward this summer. And what I'm being told is they are not concerned whatsoever about the experienced striker type of situation going on behind the scenes at Manchester United. They know what they need and they know what they can get. And everything is determined off where Manchester United finish this season and what funds are available. Now, that is crucial in Ruben Amorim going forward. We know this. And I feel like right now, United need to get something right on the pitch. We need to develop and figure something out now, because I don't think we are going to be able to win the Europa League. I really don't. We need to have some form of settled side now that we can work with going into next season. And the obvious players that need to be playing right now are the experienced ones, which are your Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes. I think Manuel Agate needs to be a player, because I think all of them, if they're all fit, will be starting next season. Look, there could be an opportunity and a chance where Mason Mount actually leaves Manchester United in the summer. But whichever way you look at it, Mason Mount needs to be playing games now. He needs to be in that starting lineup for Manchester United where possible, because even if you wanted to sell him, you'd have to give him some game time to try and make him look appealing to other teams in the summer if you wanted to sell him and get him off this big wage that he's on. But I think he could actually be really useful to Ruben Amorim now. And I know there's people probably in the chat, I'm going to come to that now, who are laughing, saying that Mason Mount is never going to be fit. I get it, I do. 100% I get it. But still, you have to be ready to use what you've got, I feel. And what we've got right now is, I think, a decent side. I really do. With what we have there, I think we have got the opportunity to actually put a little bit of a fight up towards the end of this season. But he has to start picking the players necessary. He has to start making the obvious decisions which everybody can see. Let's get into the chat on this one now. How are you all doing? Hope you're doing good. Thank you. 100 likes in the bag already. Let's get some chats in. Super chats, first of all, one from Joseph. Amorim must be so frustrated. He's trying everything while needing to protect certain players for the Europa League. He's nothing decent to play with. And you got Raws with another one, says, I have a club still owing £27 million on Onana transfer before they break even. Do they think they can get that from the Saudi Pro League? Well, they do feel like they can get that from the Saudi Pro League, which is why Manchester United are talking about changing goalkeeper up. But I think, Raws, it's also alongside getting rid of Altay Bayindir at the same time. Unfortunately for him, I do believe that we are now looking at moving Bayindir and Onana on. And there is a story going around again this morning. It's come from the MEN and Spanish sources as well also, that Mike Mignon, the goalkeeper at AC Milan, is the latest to be added to the Manchester United goalkeeper list this summer. There is going to be a goalkeeper change no matter what. I think that goalkeeper change needs to happen now. And Bayindir needs to be in goal. You just don't know. You don't know. Honestly, like, I'm telling you right now, there is nothing that they are seeing in Andre Onana in training that tells me he's better than Altay Bayindir. There's nothing that we've seen on the pitch when Bayindir has played that tells me that Andre Onana is the better option. We've had some of our better moments with Altay Bayindir in goal. Honestly, it's a no-brainer for me. You stick Bayindir in goal to the end of the season. Maybe you could save yourself some money going into the summer and not needing to buy a goalkeeper. He hasn't been given the chance. And then maybe you could slot Vitek in behind him. I'm thinking if you have not got a lot of money this summer and you are going into a pre-season and a transfer window where you might not have Champions League football, you need to slimline your squad. I think Saudi Pro League, break even with Andre Onana, and you've already got goalkeepers there. You don't need to be worrying about trying to make money off Onana. Sell him for 27 million, whatever it is to the Saudi Pro League, 30 million, try and make yourself a few quid, but keep Bayindir, bring Vitek in. I don't think you're doing too bad with that. There are options for United where we don't have to dip into our transfer funds to bring another goalkeeper in. I do think the solution is staring us right in the face a lot of the time. And obviously, you know that I've tried to be positive with everything going forward with United. I do think there are options for United. I've said before, I don't mind players like Liam Delap. I would like Liam Delap in my side. I really would. But we do need to add that guarantee. And guarantees cost money. So wherever you can make and save money in not having to buy out other players, you do it. Are we better in goal with Bayindir and Vitek? Yes, we are. See you later, Andre. Let's put all of our money into getting Victor Osimhen if he's not bothered about Champions League football or playing in Europe at all. If he's not, you throw everything you've got, and you've got a new goalkeeper set up, which is better, and you've got a new striker option, which is better, and then you can possibly start selling the players off that are doing well on loan and other players within your squad. Look what money you've got left, and then try and just make that extra signing that you need or two on the cheaper options. There are ways around this summer for Manchester United. We just have to be creative with the transfer window, and I think we can be. I really do. I'm going to get into a few more of your comments as well coming up soon. Obviously, if you did see yesterday that Manchester United, in terms of the striker options that we've actually got, we added Kluivert to it as well. Again, Justin Kluivert from Bournemouth. I think ultimately anyone in the Premier League, I think, is a no-go for Manchester United. I'm just going to say it now. From what I've been told in terms of what United have got available funds-wise and how the window is looking, names like Kluivert, you can forget about it. United will not be going for Justin Kluivert. He's a name that's just on a list. And Bournemouth are going through a pretty crap time at the moment in terms of form until we roll up in town in a few weeks' time anyway. But Kluivert, no. That story is doing the rounds. He's played in this system many times, especially at Chelsea, so I think it's a very good position for him. And that was Ruben Amorim talking about Mason Mount. Again, just quickly going back into the realms of what Manchester United can do right now. And there is clear options there for Manchester United within our squad right now without bringing anybody else in. Look, I would play Mason Mount until he breaks. I've given up on Mason Mount playing a full season. But while he's fit, you have to play him. Just get him in the side and give us something. And this weekend, up against Manchester City, I would be playing Mason Mount in that front three. Ahead of Garnacho, ahead of Xerxes if necessary. I think Xerxes will probably play. But I would actually like to see a system where we've got Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zirkzee, and Mason Mount, maybe, for a change. Garnacho needs to play what he is, an impact player, unless Ruben plays him on the right-hand side. But I think Garnacho will be back on the bench. I think he has to put Bruno Fernandes deeper alongside Manuel Ugarte for the game against City, and then use the subs according from there. Look, he'll have plenty of options. We'll find out, and we'll get a bit of an update from Ruben tomorrow on Kobbie Mainoo's fitness and where he's at as well. So that's going to be an interesting one to take from it. But I'm going to get into the chat now. A big piece on this now for you all to get your thoughts on. Change Onana, put Bayindir in goal and start playing Mason Mount. And that will change Manchester United instantly, I feel, right now. Talk to me in the chat, everybody. Bayindir should play in Europa. We can't play a goalkeeper who is just not United level. Bayindir is good. He can handle pressure. We have seen it against Arsenal in the FA Cup. Look, Bayindir did it on the biggest stage in one of the hardest games this season. We're talking about a team here in Arsenal that are second in the Premier League, that are challenging for the last 8 of the Champions League, unlike Manchester City, unlike Liverpool. Yeah, they may have got a better draw, but they're a decent side, Arsenal, and we have gone there and we have beaten Arsenal, deservedly so, with 10 men, and Bayindir has pulled off an absolute stormer of a performance on the biggest stage with the most pressure on him. We know he can handle it. Good point, MUFC forever. Callum says something clearly needs to change. He must know the issues he has by now. He needs the players to play his system or it won't work. See, this is the thing. He's so adamant on his system. I don't know why he keeps on changing it. What is it about United and this squad that makes these managers feel like they have to keep changing the players? Ugarte's played this system before. You need a good, capable goalkeeper. And Bayindir is now available. Even when Bayindir was available, he kept on playing Andre Onana. He's just not good enough. Play Bayindir in goal. Play Mason Mount now. Play Manuel Ugarte. All capable of changing this system. Honestly, them three have to play against Manchester City. There is near enough a spine of a side there for you. We've got a keeper. You've got Ugarte in front of that defence. And you've got Mason Mount in the front three. I just feel like it's an obvious one. It really is that obvious for everybody looking in. And Ruben just needs to stop, I think, tinkering with it. You know what works. You know the players that understand the system. I personally do think he's chomping at the bit to try and get Mason Mount in the side. I really do. And I think it will happen. We have players so mentally frail and fragile. That's Ruben's frustration. Again, yeah, the injuries have hampered him a little bit. And I actually had the hope that these players would look at this and go, right, okay, we have got from now until the end of the season to change this. We've got from now until the end of the season to actually step up and stake a claim to stay in this Manchester United side. If you love it at United so much, you need to be doing a lot more. And I think some of the players are. I think they're putting the effort in. And I said this against Forest. I said I can't really fault any of the effort from the players in that game. I really can't. But also, whatever way you look at it as well, you cannot argue with the quality. You cannot argue that these players are just not good enough to handle certain situations and scenarios. And the shirt is heavy. I know this. But we can't wait around and feel sorry for them. Ruben can't wait around and feel sorry for these players. Put up or shut up. Put up or out you go. That's what needs to be the message for these players. And you know what? There is an element of that I think is happening right now. I think they're feeling the pressure even more. And this is why a lot of them are. I think there is a changing of the times at United. I think there is things going on behind the scenes that the players are catching wind of. Now that it is a more open book, and we are being told, and I have been told personally, that the players know a lot more. They know where they're going. The communication at Manchester United is 20 times better. And now this season with the new structure and the people who are important at the club are there a lot more at Carrington. The players have access to more people. Obviously, the agents are going to start to know more as well as to what is going on and what Manchester United's plans are going into the future. All of this is there now. And this is why the atmosphere, like I've been told, is so much better. And everything is great under Ruben Amorim. But no one has really been tested. Like, we know under Ruben Amorim in January what he did. Players he wasn't happy with, he made it very, very clear that they weren't going to feature. I think right now the players understand as well, and I feel like a lot of these players know that their future is away from Manchester United coming into this summer transfer window, and I think that's having an effect as well. Nuke says Baindir actually tries to command his area, which is a massive improvement already. Mr. Dacia Sandero, Onana is about as much use as a chocolate fireguard, I'm afraid. Amorim has Baindir back. Will he select him? Surely it's a no-brainer. Baindir may go as well, but he's clearly better. He is clearly better. Good morning to you as well, Charles. Boxing, good to have you in the chat as well, but Onana has cost us more than what he has helped us. Move him on ASAP. If Vitek can learn to parry shots are way better, he can be a good goalkeeper in this league. That's a problem that Onana's got already, isn't it? Jesus, parrying shots. There's nothing positive about United for the last decade. Oh, thanks for that, Tom. No, there has been little bits. There has been little bits we've clung on to. Boxing says we can blindly back Amorim and be loyal. That's fine, but at present he's not brought enough to the table. I like him as a person, but he's got a huge job on his hands, and he is sinking and he is shrinking. When do we start to? I'm fully behind Ruben Amorim. I think he needs the 2 years minimum like what Ted Hag got. So I'm not looking at moving Amorim on at the end of next season. I want to give him until the season after again. I think he needs that time. I think each manager with this situation needs at least 2 years in the job. So I feel like it has to be after next season personally. But when for you, and I'm not just saying this like you're against Ruben Amorim right now, but when do you feel, as a whole, this fan base will start turning? From people you've spoken to, the uncertainty around Manchester United. Obviously, you all have conversations with your mates. You will get opposition fans talking in. When do you feel, going off how United are right now, how it's been in the past, this fan base will start turning on Ruben Amorim? Get into the chat on that one. That's the question I'm asking you straight out right now live. And if you are obviously catching up later on as well to the show, make sure that you get your comments in the comment section below, please, everyone. When does this Man United fan base start to turn on Ruben Amorim? I don't want to. I'm going to talk about things that I think are an issue with Ruben Amorim and what he's doing. Personally, I feel it is selection-wise what his biggest problem is. I think he sees things in training and he goes on about training so much. I think he gets carried away with it a little bit. I think he does. I think he does get carried away with what he sees in training. But we know that these players melt on the big stage. And managing Manchester United isn't just about what you see on the training ground. Managing Manchester United is understanding the atmosphere in stadiums, the hatred for this football club, and everybody wanting to take a piece of Manchester United. That's what you have to handle as a coach as well. And the one good thing that I always talk about that I see in Ruben Amorim where he understands that side of things is the time. And he goes on about this all of the time. And that's the best thing for me. In terms of everything else that's going on around Manchester United right now, quickly just to update you on that as well. United could revisit Jean-Claire Todibo in the summer. Obviously, he's on loan at West Ham this season. I think he's featured about 21 times for West Ham, something like that. But United are looking for the specialist centre-backs again. That is a target for Manchester United in the summer in terms of position. I don't honestly feel like we are going to be able to bring in a centre-back. I don't think we should be at the risk of not getting what we really need, which we all know, in terms of striker, goalkeeper, wing-backs, 10s, 8s, all ahead of centre-back for me right now. But United could revisit that one again, and it comes into what we also said last night regarding possibilities of players coming from Nice. Easy targets for Manchester United. Make you think that Ineos are looking, and United structure are looking at players with not being in the Champions League. Now, that could just be a secondary backup plan. I don't know. But you have to think that they are obviously thinking that worst case scenario, United are not going to have European football next season. They don't need a bigger squad. And then maybe we could just put all of our efforts into a short, smaller squad of better players, and then we assess it in the next transfer window, having got back into Europe, hopefully, next season. I don't want to be out of Europe. I'm going to be honest. I think United need European football. We really do need European football. But you've got to look at it and say, are United actually capable of playing in the Champions League with this squad? Can we compete in it? And I don't even think... And you know, if you're in it, you want to win it. That's what we're looking at. If you're in it to win it. It's as simple as that. And I think that has to be the mentality going in to everything with Manchester United. But what you've got to look at here is, I think it's just as important being in the competition for the finances right now for Manchester United. I think that's what they're looking at. And that's a shame. That's the worst bit about it, more than anything. It's just being in the Champions League seems to be more important than actually competing in it these days for a lot of football clubs because of the pressures of football finance. But yeah, I think the whole transfer window right now, I think if I'm guessing, I think they're looking at, obviously there's going to be two plans, with and without, but I think they're moving towards the without, and I don't think it's going to change too much, even if we're in the Champions League. I don't think they're going to be going out and buying, all of a sudden, the best of the best. We're going to go in for Nico Williams because we're in the Champions League. We're going to start bidding on players that the likes of City, Arsenal and Liverpool are all looking at. I don't think that's going to happen. I still think it's going to be a very, very cautious transfer window. And that's the noises coming out that I'm hearing as well, that United are really assessing everything that is there right now for them with the transfer window. And it all does come down to finances and what players have moved on. Thankfully for Manchester United, players that we know need moving on are doing very, very well. Marcus Rashford, again last night, scoring for Aston Villa. Now 3 goals for him. He is now right up there in decent form stat. He's scoring in the Premier League away from home in a big game for Aston Villa. Brilliant. That's what we needed. He's done it in the FA Cup. Fantastic. This is what we need to happen for our players, because it is going to come down to the exodus, ultimately, and what United can spend. And without Champions League football, that is definitely where we need to be looking. It's players that are leaving the football club. Manny with the super chat. Thank you, my friend. Love that. As for Onana being dropped, who do we have as an option? No first class options. Baynder is going. Heaton as good as gone. We have nothing. Onana is the best option because he's the only option at this point. No, we've got Baynder, mate. Baynder is the option for United. He's better than Onana. He should be playing right now. He's back in the squad. That's what we're saying, mate. That is the option. Into the summer, maybe we sell both of them. Manny with another super chat. Thank you, mate. Amorim hasn't even started. This season was a write-off. Without a full summer and pre-season, there is no point in judging. But yeah, that's the question I'm asking. Are we in a position right now to start judging? We can start talking about Ruben's issues that he's got, and clear and obvious. Onana is absolutely terrible, says Incognito in response to that one. We know the problems that we've got in our current squad, but have we not got players that could come in that Ruben isn't using? That's the question I'm asking, and that's what I wanted to get from the chat. Have we got players there that he's not using at all, that he should be using? I think how likeable Ruben is will keep the fans on board longer than, say, a Ten Hag. We need to see results next season, though. Otherwise, I feel the fans will start to turn. We can't have another season like this next season. I think the fans will start looking for a way out if that starts happening. I really do. Joseph again, thank you for another super chat. We need to get new players in as soon as the transfer window opens, as to give Amorim as much time over the off-season to work with these players. We do need to work fast. We need to work fast for that reason, Joseph, and because of the competition in the transfer window that we know we're up against, which is hard work. It's going to be very much a tough old slog for Manchester United going in. But yeah, in terms of the players, Manchester United, Todibo and Mignon, they're 2 more players that have been added to our list of possibles. Obviously, the Todibo one is a Nice-linked player as well. So take that in with whatever topping that you want in terms of dressing, pinch of salt, whatever it is that you think that is real or not. I think Manchester United this summer will make a goalkeeper change. I think the forward is a definite. I have been told that there has 100% been concrete talks about Liam Delap. United want Liam Delap. That's just what I've been told, and I think we can see it. I really do. Because he has got, and I think United feel like they can get Liam Delap cheaper than that 40 million tag as well. I think that's why they're going for him. I think they feel with what they have been told, there is a chance, and Liam Delap would obviously come to Manchester United in a heartbeat, I think, if he's being relegated, unless there's an offer elsewhere. But this is just because we are where we are. And we are having to deal with all of this because we are 13th in the league and we've not got European football next season. They are the reasons. Ross, another super chat. Thank you very much, mate. I really enjoyed the difference Dorgu has made so far. He is young. Yes, he is. Yes. Does he have growing pains to get through? Yes, but he also fits the system and we need another of him on the right-hand side. And yeah, Dorgu, without Garnacho on that side, is definitely our better option as well, I think, going forward. Okay, everybody, sorry to cut it short. Please give the video a like. I'm going to wrap things up there. We have done the earlier show today. We have a quicker show when we do the early ones because I am just a little bit busy. I've got a few things to do, but I will be back later on as well. There could even be extra content today, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification for all of the content coming up, please, everybody. Get your comments in below. I'll try and get through a few of these later on as well. So please do get your comments in the comments section below, everyone. That is important as well. Give the video a like on the way out, and I'll see you all later on.